Good evening. I would like to welcome you to the Huguenot Trail District's October Roundtable. At this time, I would like to ask everyone to please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. Scout sign. Please join me in the Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Two. Thank you. You may be seated. Are you coming?
Yeah. All right, good evening, viewers, and all those that are in attendance tonight. A couple things I just want to address. I know as we wrap up the JSN season, the Joint Scouting Nights, the open houses, everything else going on out there, if you had parents come to one of your first meetings, to any of those other recruitment events, and you have those applications still in hand, please get those turned into either myself or the council office, just so we can get those people registered and they can jump right into the program. We are having a unit and membership renewal webinar explaining the new unit renewal process for everyone. That is going to be a Zoom webinar that is going to be on Tuesday, October 15th from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And you can register for that on Blackpug. If you need the link for that or have any questions with that, you can reach out to myself or Pam Mishikowski for that. We are also having an extended popcorn sale, so if you guys are not participating and you would like to do one of the last few weekends for popcorn, we can do a special consignment sale for you and get you some product to go on out there for a few weekends just to maybe get some extra fundraising done and get that experience for those scouts for maybe who have never participated in it. So if you would like to hop on the last end of the fall product sale, I can help you with that. And then reach out to Heather Dunton if you have any questions with that as well. Couple events going on from council. We have Creepy Hollow coming up in the end of October. Weekend one is going to be from the 19th to the 20th, with weekend two the following weekend, the 25th to 26th. We have the Lion and Tiger Rally on November 2nd. And then we have our Huguenot Trail Camporee, which is going to be Day of the Vikings 2, which is going to be awesome. We have that on November 22nd and 24th. So make sure to get registered for that as well. That's going to be an awesome event. Last thing to just put on your radar so you don't forget is winter camp. I know winter camp's a great time of fun for people out there, and that fills up pretty quick. So if you put that on your guys' radar, if you guys are thinking about going, have that discussion, get registered, as that is open on Blackpug as well. That's all that I have for you guys tonight, and thank you again.
I want to piggyback on the announcement regarding Creepy Hollow. I encourage any troops that are out there listening. The camp can use your help to help run stations and volunteer, and you actually get to camp for free that weekend, and your meals are provided during that weekend. And we can also provide you with a letter for service hours. So if you would like to come out to the camp and help maybe supervise and monitor a station, we could really use your support. Please reach out to Heather Movahill, or you can even contact myself, and we'll give you additional information to get you going on the right track. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Good evening, everyone. So just another announcement, as if we didn't have enough of those already. In November, we plan to have our district recognition. We're not going to do a dinner this year, but we are going to do desserts. It will be on our normal roundtable evening here at St. John Newman. So your physical presence would very much be appreciated. If your unit has leadership who you would like to recognize, perhaps they have need of getting the Den Leader Award or maybe a unit award, you can get in touch with our district executive, Zach, to get those applications in. We are also taking nominations for District Award of Merit, and those applications would need to go to Scott Bailey, our advancement chair. We will post those contact emails out for you so that you can send that information to them. And also in our district email that goes out, we have all of the links for all of those activities that Zach was able to announce at the beginning of the meeting. So you can go there and find all of the dates and the information and the registration links. So this evening's program, we're going to talk a little bit about the recent updates to the Guide to Safe Scouting. There have been some fairly major changes in two particular areas, and that is Cub Scout camping as well as our range and target activity sports. So I'm going to start a little bit with our Cub Scout camping, and that mostly has come about because of the changes to the Cub Scout program. So before, the Webelos and Arrow of Light program was a 2-year program covering 4th and 5th grade. And so it was one particular program, and it was just for Webelos altogether. Now that program has been divided. BSA troops. Our Arrow of Light patrols, or DENs, are able to go camping with a troop, and they are able to attend a camporee and stay overnight. This is an additional change. Originally, they were only able to go and attend a camporee during the day, and then they would have to leave. So now, if you have an Arrow of Light den and you're looking for a way to fulfill your requirements of participating with a troop, perhaps the upcoming district camporee in November is a great opportunity for you to be able to do that. You can go and be able to experience all of the activities of the day and then also be able to camp. Now, with that, each unit still has to provide their own leadership. So just as you would have your 2-deep leadership on any other camp out, you still need that 2-deep leadership to cover both units. So the troop has to provide their leadership and the pack has to provide their leadership to cover that activity. So all of these new guidelines can be found on scouting.org. And all you have to really do is look up Guide to Safe Scouting, and you will find lots and lots of information about that. Now, I will say there is another change that has happened, and this happened last year. Some people may not still be aware of, but as far as leadership is concerned, any adult that wants to camp with a troop, and we're talking about Scouts BSA, any adult that wants to stay overnight on a camp out must be a registered adult, meaning they must be a fee-paying adult. They have to go through the background check process. They must take YPT training. So This does not apply at Cub Scouts. However, you do still have to have your 2 trained leaders to cover your 2 deep leadership, but any parent that wishes to attend with their child at a Cub Scout level does not necessarily have to be registered. Okay, so just remember though, any adult that wishes to participate, even if you have 2 deep leadership already covered at the troop level, still must be registered with the BSA. Now, moving on to our shooting sports. There have been lots and lots of changes with our shooting sports program, and we are now calling it range and target activities. So there's a big change already. That's not terminology that we've become accustomed to, but that is what our new terminology is. And these changes take effect as of September 1st of this year. So the bulk of the changes have happened regarding venturing and Sea Scout shooting sports activities, particularly with rifle shooting, pistol shooting, and some of the hunting and other activities that they were allowed to do. Now there are certain types of calibers as well as types of rifles that perhaps those particular programs were able to use previously that they are no longer able to use. So across all of their programs, everybody will be allowed to use the same thing. So you are limited to particular caliber air rifles, muzzle loading rifles, and .22 caliber bolt action rifles. So where there may have been center fire rifles or other types of rifles that were used before, those are now prohibited. With pistol shooting, venturing and Sea Scouts are no longer permitted to shoot pistols as a unit activity. So there is pistol shooting that is permitted, but is only a part of an NRA Pistol First Steps orientation course, and that must be taken at an accredited camp program. That cannot be done as a unit. It must be done through council. Hunting is no longer going to be authorized as a unit activity. You may still take the hunter education course, however. And you will also no longer be able to shoot muzzleloader or black powder pistols. So, lots of changes, and at this time, certainly everyone is still having to get through all of the new materials. Another very big change is that if you do participate in a unit range and target activity, you must have one adult leader, 21 or older, who takes a range activity safety online course through the BSA. And this should be available now online in your online training if you would like to take that. This does not take the place of NRA training or range safety officer training. This is an additional training that must be taken by a leader within the unit if you wish to do unit activities. Now, the majority of our activities will now be restricted to council-managed properties, meaning you can set up a weekend experience out at T. Brady Saunders or Cub Adventure Camp with the council staff. You may participate, obviously, at summer camp or any other programs that council offers, range and target activities. However, you still may have a unit activity, but under very particular circumstances. You can go to, I have to find it, sorry. You may go to a commercial range that has to be approved, where you may utilize your own firearms and ammunition, but it still has to be within the appropriate BSA guidelines. You will no longer be able to use private property or other established ranges that do not fall within either council approved or commercial approved properties. All right, let's see. There's quite a lot of other stuff, but as I mentioned, that's the bulk of what really is going to affect most of our units, whether you are a venture crew or a Sea Scout ship, or whether you are a unit that has enjoyed the opportunity of having your own unit range activities. You must make sure that you follow these rules. They're very important because of safety and making sure that what we are doing as a unit is safe for our scouts. Does anybody have any questions? It's a lot of information. We will post the links to all of this, as well as a Q&A that was put out about why we do range and target sports in scouting and why these changes have come about. Any questions? No? Okay. All right, so I think that was all I needed to do for right now. So I think Frank is going to come back for just a few moments.
I want to take a few minutes. I'm not going to take much of your time, but I want to talk to you about a new topic that's coming up in Scouts BSA, and it is referred to as year-round recruitment. Historically, there's been a strong emphasis on fall recruitment drives to replenish unit membership. Spring recruitment drives were added to include more youth during summer activities. However, we're now in a time where year-round recruitment is possible and preferable to the once or twice a year events we've done in the past. With the ability to do online registration and year-round programs, a youth can join scouting whenever they want to. In the past, youth may not have joined at a particular time because they were participating in a sport, be it a spring or fall sport. Well, now with the advances that have been made as far as registration and being able to do things digitally, if a youth is interested in scouting, that youth can be recruited or join at any time. We don't have to wait for join scout night or when a troop does a open house. You can actually talk to youth, and if they're interested in the program, they can complete the registration online and join at any time. And National is encouraging units to start year-round recruiting. And I have a couple of documents that I'm going to be referring to, and it is, the title is the same, Dynamic Recruitment Playbook. And there's one for Scouts BSA and there's one for PACs. A lot of the information is very similar, so I'm going to kind of go through both at the same time, and I'll point out a couple of things that may apply to either a PAC or a troop when I get to it. Now, there was a book written called I Heart Recruitment, so I'm assuming that's I Love Recruitment. And the author said there are 3 distinct types of prospective members to a fraternity. You have the always joiners. Those are people that, whatever that organization or activity or group is, they want to be a part of it. Then you have about 15% that are never joiners. They don't like it, they don't want to have nothing to do with it. That 15% really don't even waste your time on. And then you have 70%, which are considered maybe joiners. So some of the things we're going to talk about is going to help you to get those always joiners and some of the maybe joiners. In the past, recruitment strategy in the BSA has been directed at always joiners. And sometimes you get big numbers after a recruitment event, and sometimes the numbers are not what you expected. But we focused more on the always joiners. The maybe idea is we need to start focusing on the maybe joiner. They help you really build your unit membership. In the past, BSA has done, or Scouts BSA has done what is referred to as static recruitment. And basically what that means is you do a couple of events a year, you do an open house, you do join Scout night, maybe the PAC does a day where, hey, invite a friend to come out to the park, we're gonna do some fun activities, and maybe you try to talk to them and the parents to get them interested. Troops may invite Weeblos to an open house or a day activity to try to get them interested in that troop. And that was pretty much your recruitment effort for the year. You may do one or two activities or events. The concept behind what is called dynamic recruitment, and do not let the word dynamic scare you. It's just a cliche word to describe a different approach to recruitment. Dynamic recruitment is an intentional and continual process of proactively seeking high-quality youth through a successful system built upon daily patterns of behavior that produce results. You would take the time to actively, year-round, attempt some type of recruitment towards the youth and their parents. You don't just wait once or twice a year. And there are 8 primary steps to this dynamic recruitment process. And again, a lot of this information is similar. The brochure for the Scouts BSA playbook is a little bit more detailed compared to the PAC, but the 8 steps are: know the basics, do things that attract high quality youth, meaning your troop should be active, your PAC should be active, doing things and activities and going places that you can talk about. Yes, we go camping, but do you tell them where we're going camping? What did you do while you were camping? What did you do at this event? You went to the baseball game. You went to the Harlem Globetrotters basketball game. Let them know about what your unit does that makes your unit special. ACE your values, promoting, achieving, communicating, and expecting the values of scouting and the BSA is in everything you do as a unit. When you can tell parents that we believe in the aims and methods of scouting, and this is why. Look at our youth. Look what they've accomplished. We want your child to be a part of this also. Promote the scouting program and show what it can really do for the youth. Be motivated. Get your families to build a recruitment dream that is so big, they'll do whatever it takes to accomplish it. You gotta have a goal. You gotta have a plan. You gotta have an idea. You wanna set realistic goals, and that's what your recruitment effort is gonna be focused on. Maybe you just wanna recruit 5. Maybe you need to recruit 20. Maybe you need a certain age group. Whatever your goals are, get motivated about it, be excited about it, and focus on it. Know your audience. And that refers to stretching your understanding of potential member families and help them to understand what we can find those future leaders in their families. Don't just walk up to people. You can just walk up to people and start talking about scouting, but you want to start talking to people that you have some familiarity with, because they're going to be a bit more comfortable with you than a total stranger. Now, if you happen to be at an event or an activity, you're in uniform, and somebody starts talking, well, they're showing interest. Yes, go for it. But you want to also communicate with those that have some knowledge of you and you have some knowledge of them. Step number 5 is know your product, and that falls back onto you, your unit, and what your unit has to offer, because you're trying to offer your product to this youth and this family to get them to want to buy into it. Be able to proudly, boldly, without hesitation, promote your unit. Promote the values of scouting, and let people know why it would be a good idea for them to become a part of your unit. Develop skills, and we're talking interpersonal skills, so that you can be confident when you talk to people, learning how to talk, knowing what to say, being familiar with various policies, because you're going to have people that are going to question things they've heard in the past. Well, what's so different now compared to 5 years ago, 10 years ago? When I was a scout, they did this and I didn't like that. You need to be able to explain to them how things are different, what we're doing today that is different from what they did yesterday. Grow wiser. We must be willing to learn the lessons that will make us wiser. We must continually seek out new ideas, new strategies, and new systems to take scouting and our units from mediocre performance and develop amazing results. You're only going to get out the effort that you put into it. If you just show up to a meeting, you sit there for an hour, then you go home and all you did was talk about what was on TV, you're not really developing the youth. You want to make sure your units are actively engaged in the program. Give them a little push every now and then, challenge them every now and then, get them to develop that awesome feel for their unit, and when you go and talk to others about that, it's easy. They can just walk in and see it. Now, in order to introduce dynamic recruitment in a unit, you have to ensure that the scouts and their families subscribe to 4 competencies of dynamic recruitment, and they use an acronym, MAPS. Motivation. The scouts and the families have to be motivated about being willing to talk and promote and share about their unit. Audience awareness. Know who you're talking to. Be familiar with them. You don't want to say things that may frighten them off or scare them. You do want to be honest. You do want to be open. If they ask questions, answer the questions to the best of your ability. Product knowledge, and again, that's being able to know your unit, what it is, what it's capable of, what it's going to do. And skills, again, communicate, socialize, and grow your membership. There is a proposal that this dynamic recruitment model is going to be introduced to councils, and so that they can, and they're looking at having some troops, and I'm assuming it may be a type of a pilot program, and have troops agree to try to do this. But from the information I've read here, and hopefully I can get Jamie and Drew to post the links to these 2 documents, read through it. This is actually some good information. And one of the big benefits to dynamic recruitment is that it is entirely voluntary. So it can increase membership in your units, which in turn affects the district/council growth, but the focus is your units. Taking a year-round approach, yes, we continue to do open houses. Those are great. Yes, we're going to do joint scout nights, but do other things throughout the year. Make an attempt to reach out to youth and to their families and promote your unit, promote scouting, to garner some interest in what we have to offer. I'll be the first to admit, I think the scouting program is one of the best things we got left on this planet that will benefit our youth. But if we don't promote it to youth that are not familiar with it, they may miss out on an opportunity that they may need. So please, take the time to review this. And again, like I said, I'm gonna get a link to this information will be posted on our page or website so that you can take the time to review it and see what you think about it. And I think it is definitely something worth pursuing. And with that being said, I do believe
That's all we need to say.
I am done for the evening.
That's good. That's good. All right. Again, thank you for joining us this evening for our October Huguenot Trail Roundtable. We appreciate it. Please remember, we will have a district awards celebration in November. So everyone should please come out and support your leaders and make sure that you get those nominations in or you get those award applications in. And so that we can recognize all of the leaders within our district who work so very hard to make sure that scouting is available to our youth. So with that being said, excuse me. May the great Scoutmaster of all Scouts be with us until we meet again. Good night, Scouters.
Good night.